Hello, welcome to this lesson. Today we are going to understand a little bit about galleries. Galleries, to me, is one of the pillars of Power Apps, one of the bases you need to understand to build nice apps because you're always going to use them. In this lesson, we are going to create a gallery to show data from a collection, and this lesson is part of my complete course that you can find very affordable in the pinned comments below. Now let's go to the lesson. In the previous lesson, we worked with collections and we created a collection to temporarily store data from our tasks. So we can basically add tasks to a collection that's the local data inside the app. It's a local table in the memory. Now that we have the data and we understand a little bit about collections, let's see how to display this data properly. In the last lesson, we used this table visual to do that. But in real life, I don't use this visual. I use another visual that's called galleries. Let's start understanding this control a little bit more. Why do I use galleries? Because tables only have this fixed visual. We cannot add custom stuff to it. And also tables are in preview mode. If I go to insert, then I see table, I see in preview, and I avoid using preview controls in real life scenarios because I don't want, out of the blue, something changing and breaking my app. So I use the ones that are not in preview. For exploring, for learning, for small and simple apps that you build for yourself, it's fine. Sometimes the preview controls are better. But for large apps that an entire department may use, I avoid using those. Okay, and then here we have galleries. So if I search for gallery, I see under the layout section that we have vertical gallery, horizontal gallery, and flexible height gallery. Let's explore the vertical gallery. Once I click on it, the gallery is going to be inserted in my app, and then I can see this control. I can see several rows. I can have an image, text, a button, and I can move things freely inside the gallery. Right now we just have sample data, but I can connect this to real data. It could be Dataverse tables, SharePoint lists, Excel files, SQL Server, and so on. Any data source that Power Apps can connect to. But I can also connect to local data, such as the collection that we created last lesson that's called Code Tasks. So if I copy the name Code Tasks, go to the collections and go to the items property and paste it in here, I can see that the values change here. Now I see 3 rows that are the 3 rows that I have inside my collection right now. The difference now, as I showed, is that I can go to the first item of the gallery, the first row, and whatever I change here will reflect in the other rows. So basically this item, this first row, is where I can edit things. It's my template. And here I can add buttons, icons, images, text, numbers, and so on. Well, since it's connected to the collection, it's going to show as many rows as the collection has. And then here in these controls, I can change the information that's showing here. I can even toggle this property pane and choose a different layout. We have already pre-made layouts, and I'm going to select, for example, title and subtitle because I only have task name and task status. I don't have other information for this data set. So I have less controls here. Title and subtitle because I only have task name and task status. I don't have other information for this data set. So I have less controls here. You can also delete if you want. You can select anything inside the first row, so you make sure you're inside the gallery and you can add more things inside. For example, I can add a button directly inside the gallery. Once I add, a button is going to appear in all the 3 rows. Now let's say that here in this first text, I want to show the task description, the task text. Well, it's already selected, as you can see in the text property, ThisItem.task text. Now, if in the second row I want to show the status, I'm going to replace the text of this label by ThisItem. This is how you're going to refer all the properties you want to show for your data. It's always ThisItem, then dot, and I see all the columns that I have. I have task status, task text, and another property that comes from the gallery, that's the isSelected. We can use this later to show which row I clicked, which row I select. Now it doesn't matter at this moment, so let's see the task status. Then I put the task status and I see here false, for example, because when I added the task, I didn't mark this completed checkbox. Now if I add a new task and click on add task with this selected, we are going to see a true because this column has true on this row. Just to remember, when we clicked in the add task, we just added a row to the collection with the inputs that we provided. Now let's say that instead of showing true or false, I want to show a completed icon or not. Well, that's where galleries are good because I can manage things inside here. For example, I can insert an icon, and then on this icon, I can choose the check mark. So check mark, I can organize to put in the side of the task name, and then I can only show this check mark if this column task status is true. So basically I can copy this item.task status, go to the visible property of this icon and paste in there. Because this column is always true or false. So if it's true, it means the icon is going to be visible. If it's false, it means the icon is going to be hidden. And this test, this formula will apply for each row in the gallery. As we can see now, only one is showing because only this one has true in the task status column. Now, since I'm using the icon to show the status, I don't need this second information anymore and I can delete. Well, also by default, we have this icon here to select. Let's say if I wanted to show details of this item, I can click on this icon and then do something. And we also have this bar here that shows the item that is selected. Right now, we are not using it, but can be useful in case you want to select specific rows and then do some actions on it. For example, I could select this row and then enable editing in these inputs again, putting the value that's selected back in there to change the status or fix the text, for example. Let's say that I wanted to change the task status by clicking in a checkbox here. So I could insert inside the gallery a checkbox as well. So let's go to insert and then checkbox. I'll put here in the same place as the icon. I'll remove the label and then I only want to show this checkbox if the task is not completed. And now in the visible property, I can only show in case this item.task status is false. So let's do that. This item.task status. Then I could do equals false. It means when task status equals false, this whole condition is going to return true and then it's going to be visible. The other option would be like this, not task status. So if task status is not true, that means not task status. So if it's false, it's going to become true because the not changes it. Well, this is a little bit of logic, but it means the same. So I will keep equals false just to make it easier to understand what we are testing. Okay, so now in this scenario, we only see when the task status is equals false. Then I can click here and I could use it to update the status of the task. Right now it's doing nothing because we didn't add any formula to when we click here. But that's something we can do. We can use this action of clicking here and changing the value from false to true to updating the collection and setting the task status for that column to true. Then immediately this checkbox is going to disappear and the icon is going to appear. We have some ways to do that. I will give you the name of the functions so you can do a research and try before watching the next lesson, because that's a challenge I want to leave for the next lesson. Let's see if you can use the action of checking the checkbox to update the collection and change to true. And the functions that I want you to research are fetch, or update or UpdateIf. We have these three functions to update records, and you can try using those. Read the documentation, search on Microsoft Learn, try to implement it as a challenge, and I will give you the solution in the next lesson. Let's see how it goes. See you in there. And you that are here on YouTube, thanks for watching this lesson until here. Also try this challenge. Please leave a comment if you could solve it. Let me know how you did it. And if you want to follow all the courses without distractions, without ads, without me talking about the course, see the pinned link below. If not, I will leave a recommended lesson. Please leave a like and subscribe to help me post more free content like this one.